Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show on We Are Hotline, and we have another transformational story for you today. The show is about transforming lives one story at a time, and people from all walks of life come and share their heart stories, and we do just that. We're here to uplift and to also take people to the next level in whatever area they are stuck in, whether it be health or finances or relationships. We want to just share the good news of prosperity and success and for great health. So on the line with us right now is a relationship mentor, and she's also the author of the 12 Keys of Finding Love in Less Than 300 Dates. Would you please welcome Tal Shaish to the show? How are you doing today, Tal?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you, Nikki?
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Sure. I'd love to.
Thank you. You know, everyone has at one point been looking for love, or maybe right now trying to find love. It's not an easy thing. It's not as easy as, you know, going and picking up something at a popular store. You have to really take the time to know what you're doing. And some people fall into a rut of making the same mistakes over and over again and wonder, you know, when am I going to get off this dating cycle? So tell me a little bit about your background and your journey to finding love.
Okay, so thank you very much, Nikki. I'll start with my personal background that led me to write this book. When I was 28, I was standing in front of the door of what used to be my house, my apartment, or our apartment, for me and my ex-boyfriend. And he was my, how we say it, my mythological ex, the person who is like actually exists, but everybody, I try to compare it to everybody, and everyone has somebody like that they fall in love with and think he's or she is the one. And they cannot avoid comparing to other people. So I was standing there with a suitcase in my hand after I heard the words that I am not going to marry you. And I was devastated. Yes, I felt heartbroken. I couldn't eat. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do anything. And I felt just devastated, and I understood that, there's no chance of getting back to this relationship, and I have to start dating again if I want to go and find my true love. And I thought, hey, it would be easy because I'm a relationship person, and I used to be so involved in like long-lasting relationships. But this time I was sure that this was the guy, right? But it didn't. So I started this cycle, as you say, or I call it the dating scene, and I started getting to know lots of guys, and I dated, and I just stopped and just asked, what, isn't there just one guy for me, just one, just for me? What? All the good guys are taken, all the good guys are gays, like all spoken for. What's going on there? And and it took me like more than 300 dates until I realized that something very, very unique happened to me. I dated a lot of guys, and I can't say that all of them weren't good guys, but they weren't right for me, right? But then I met somebody that I really liked, and he was great. And after less than a month, I realized that he sort of flipped on me. So he was wooing me, and he wanted me, and he was giving me a lot, but he demanded me not to be in touch with my friends, and he was the one who used to take orders for me at a restaurant, and he became too bossy. And I realized that I'm like, from inside, I was dying. I wasn't me anymore. I couldn't be myself anymore. And I reflected back on the person that I ended the relationship ended with at the beginning, and I realized that nothing belonged to me at the apartment. I wasn't even there. So something went ka-ching in my mind, and I realized that I can't truly be myself in a relationship, and that's a harsh thing to understand. And with this particular guy that I dated, and he became very bossy, I realized that had I stayed with him more, I would have got to be a story of an abused person. And it was a very low point, the way he treated me. There were some harsh things that I talk about in the book, but not all the harsh things I remind in the book. But it was very, very painful. And that's the moment I stopped. And I told myself, Tal, wake up. Wake up. And I just felt a little roar inside. Well, but first it wasn't a roar. It was a meow. And then it became a roar of a tiger or a lioness. Exactly. And I understand that this is it. This is it. I have to create a covenant, a contract with myself. No more this kind of not fully being present in the relationship. So I create this covenant with myself. After 300 dates, after getting in a relationship that started but never really led to anywhere, and that was the first step. And that was my first key, by the way, that I talk about in the book, because a lot of single, especially women, but not just women, a lot of single women just don't have this covenant with themselves. They don't have their own boundaries of what I can accept as a behavior from the other side or feelings from the other side and what I can't accept. And it's very hard to, yes, we live in an era of no boundaries. You see, everything is out there in the social media. Everything is outside. But then I realized that I have to create this covenant and to love myself. And the person I will be in the best relationship forever would be me. So I started to understand this. And then that led me to another key that I understood, that the world is a world of reflections. And what I understand that is happening outside is actually a reflection of what I feel inside. So if somebody treats me wrong on the outside, it means that something is incomplete with me inside. So I have to check it. What's going on there? Whether it's my parents, my father, my mother, whether it's a different relationship. And the power of breakup, I also talk about the power of breakup and generating a breakup into an engine of growth. So it's like, if you have a sort of a scratch, well, it heals, right? But if you rub the scratch in the same spot, it will hurt again. And then you rub it again, and then you rub it again. Each time it will hurt more. It doesn't really, you don't let it heal. So every time you break up or somebody breaks up with you, you have a whole pain going on yourself. And until you learn how to let go and to fully accept and forgive this painful breakup, you can't free yourself to the next relationship. So after I started practicing with myself with all this meditation and exercises that I created, something magical happened. It was just enchanted, as if it's like written, from a movie. Because 2 weeks later, I met a gorgeous guy, which is like somebody that, according to the list, would never be the kind of guy that I would like to date, or I wouldn't even recommend you to date with, right? He was recently divorced. He was an actor, and he was heading to London, England for his master's. So, I wouldn't recommend you to get involved with a guy like this, right? But this time my intuition was clear, very clear. And we met, and after 2 weeks, he told me he wants me to be the mother of his kids. And after a month and a half, I had an engagement ring on my finger. And after a week, I discovered I'm pregnant. And after another week, I discovered it's twins. They're twins. So I told him, if you want, you can go away. But he said, I'm not going anywhere. If you want, you can go. But I'm not going anywhere. And we ended up marrying. Yeah, and we're up until today, 8 years, more than 8 years together. And having beautiful twins that we're taking care of, and immigrated to Canada in the past 2 years. And we live here now. And this amazing story, I realized that there is a story worth sharing, because I have this life mission of empowering singles and couples to help them have the best relationship, the most powerful and empowering relationship, and mutual and fulfilling. So that became my life goal. So I went to do my MA in sociology and to take a course of being a relationship mentor and a group facilitator. And in Canada, I decided that I have to bring it in the story. So I started writing this book. And this book has a lot of coaching exercises and meditations and a lot of free space for journalism, because I truly believe that writing and then reflecting on your thoughts is a very powerful engine to grow.
Absolutely. There's something very cleansing and healing about releasing a story. And not only is it healing for yourself, but it's also healing for the person who is the intended reader of the story. So it's a wonderful thing.
Thank you. Yes, I totally agree with. And I think that this is not a know-how book. This is not going to give you some sneaky tricks of how to leave your panties at your boyfriend's apartment so he can call you the day after. This is not such a know-how book like this. This is a really journey that I invite all the readers to go inside themselves and heal themselves from inside, and to do all this meditations and all these coaching exercises and to write, because this is a very healing process, the writing. So I really invite everybody to even before purchasing the book, just start scribbling on a page, like 2 or 3 pages in the morning when you wake up. So to have all your thoughts, or when you're going on the subway or sitting in a restaurant on a napkin, just write whatever on your heart. It will help you have the distance between the actual events and what you're feeling, and help you, go over it and reflect on that and grow from it.
Absolutely. And to review values of the covenant that you've made to yourself, right?
Totally.
So you have something to reflect back on. It's like a contract to yourself that it's there, it's written. Okay, I got to stick to the standards.
Yes. The thing is that you have to have a lot of, you don't have to, but I invite you to have a lot of flexibility and to drop, for example, the list, because on my list wasn't an actor or recently divorced or somebody who is going away, but here I fell in love with. So when I talk about covenant, I'm not talking about being stiff on what you think you should do or write a list, because people stick too much to those lists, and they tend to, and I used to do that too, to no, I want him to be tall, or no, I want him to have a long hair, or no, I want him to have a tattoo. Or when I'm talking about a covenant, I'm not talking about these kind of things. I'm talking about boundaries that are not meant to be crossed. Like I love myself. I don't let people treat me in this and that way. These are the values I believe in. These are the values that my partner to be will believe in. We have we share the same values, or sort of the same values. So this is when I mean covenant, and the contract, and it's the first chapter. It can help you a lot because it really puts the step on, and you really understand who you are and what you are first before you go on to the relationship. And by the way, I truly believe that your spouse or your partner is your guru. You learn a lot from your partner. He gives you the most amazing lessons in life. And you ought to, if you also believe that somebody you meet is a lesson for you. So the partners are really someone that give you the best lessons in life. So you have to stick to them and learn from them. However, you can't accept all sorts of behaviors, and I did that, and that was awful. Until I stopped myself and I told myself I love myself. You have to fall in love with yourself first, because this is the most meaningful relationship you'll ever have.
Absolutely, that is very true, and no one can take away that love. People come and go, situations change, but once you have that love established with yourself, that can take you from one situation to the next, and without a lot of phasing and without a lot of reconstructing, because you're already built. There's a house that is strongly built on a foundation, so it won't crumble if
totally.
storms come. So it's a great thing that you're establishing, and it's very important because I know a lot of beautiful career-driven women, and they're at a stage in their life where they've dedicated all their time to building up a career, and they realize now at a certain age that so much time has passed and they haven't met anybody, and more often than not they're in a situation where they're looking to actually have children. So they want to find an ideal partner. They're not just looking to date; they want to settle down. But they also have set them up. They have set themselves up for what I think failure, because they have unrealistic laundry lists of partners they're looking for.
Totally,
So
I see that a lot.
Laundry lists for partners.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
What do you think about these lists? Should we have a list? Does it make sense?
No, well, in most areas in life, I believe that it's very important to have a list, to have the sort of like if you look at this, to have a vision and to have a list. That's very important. However, as I said before, when it comes to love, the most important thing is that the list would be the list of values that you want to share, and not necessarily something from the outside. Because love is surrounding us. The moment you are connected to this frequent of love, you see love everywhere. You see love everywhere within the elderly. You see it in the leaf in the street that falls from a tree. You see it in your cat or your dog. And if you want to find love, if you believe in the attraction law and the law of attraction, then attract love. So do something with love to somebody else. Just pass it on. Just start doing love things, and like go for the elderly and help them. Help a neighbor. Go visit your parents. Do something that is dedicated to love and comes out of love, and you start, you'll start being on the same frequent, and it will attract others as well. This is a very important tip. It sounds like, what should I go to an elderly home, and what would that help me in finding my mate? But the thing is that if you vibrate on this frequent, on this high frequent of love, it starts going back to you, and you start attracted. And this is a very, very important thing to do when you're looking for love.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. Wow, you've got a wealth of information, and I know you've just released a book, The 12 Keys to Finding Love in Less Than 300 Dates. And I know that is going to be a manual for so many people looking for true love. What would you say to someone right now about not giving up? They're probably on their 299th date, and they're about to throw the towel in the ring and say, forget about it. What would you say to them, to the ones who just not have a successful date?
Okay, so first of all, read the book. Seriously, like, go start doing not just read it, start doing the exercises, because it's really helpful. The one important thing I would like to say is not to look at the other side or at yourself as a consumer. We live in a culture of everything. Is when you talk also about the list, it's very important. We live in a culture that everything you can buy online, buy off the shelf, and relationship is not something to pick off the shelf. It's something that you that happens when you're open to it, and when you're open to the understanding that the other side is not your object. He is a subject, and it's subjective to his or her own decisions. And communication is a very important key, and I teach it in my workshops of how to communicate well, especially in the first stages of relationship, when you don't really know, there's a lot of tension, like he sent me WhatsApp or he sent me an email. Should I be his friend on Facebook? He didn't send an emoji of love. What does it mean? What to write in the first? This is very important also to know. So we can definitely required to learn all these communication tools. One thing I would definitely do is, first of all, be patient and fall in love with yourself, and do not follow this imaginary list that you have. Do not follow it. You don't know where your love will come from, and be open to it.
Right. Wow. Okay. And I wanted to also say that, people nowadays have dates on text, and from my own opinion, I think it's so wrong. And people think, okay, well, he texted me, and he texted me throughout the day. Maybe I'm from another planet, but maybe I'm old school. Why can't the same energy you have to text someone, why can't you pick up the phone and call them? Or why can't you just meet them face to face? There's some people who are just texting and thinking that they're in a relationship through text.
I know that. Yeah, for sure. Well, what I think about it is very clear. At the first stages, it's okay to text, but it's very important also to say, I would like to talk to you, or I would like to transfer it to a different media. Let's talk. Let's meet. So you will have this. So you will show it in kindness and in the way of communicating it that you would like to go to the next step, because it's like reading a script without a director. So you don't know exactly what he or she meant, and it can be very confusing at the beginning. And as you said, people think that they're actually in a relationship when they're totally not. And it leaves the other side very, very confused and very needy. So if you want a relationship and the other side is texting you and you're texting him back, that's fine. But really soon, rather sooner than later, talk to them and tell them, when would be a good time to call you, or when would you like to call me, and have this conversation and listen to the voice behind it and see what's going on. I see people, especially women, that get crazy because he didn't send an emoji, or like one mistake is to ask on the it's like the girl wants to be in a relationship, and she wants to make the first step, or to communicate. Like now it's in the morning, so she wants to communicate. So she writes, "How are you?" Now this is a very frustrating question because she asked a question, and if he doesn't answer, it's like he is ignoring you. So don't write a question. Write maybe something like, "Have a great day," or "I'm having a great day. I hope yours is fabulous." And in this way, I'm like giving signs to the other side that I want to be in a connection. I want you to communicate with me, but I don't leave myself with questions unsolved, unanswered.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's talk about your book launch coming up soon, and how people can come and visit you and get a copy of the book before we go.
Okay, great. So first of all, my book is available on Amazon, and the 12 Keys to Finding Love in Less Than 300 Days by Tal Shaish. So this is the first thing. And the second, I'm very excited, and thank you so much for mentioning it. The book launch is this coming the Thursday, the 27th at 6 p.m. at the Columbus Event Center in Toronto, and they can definitely register. They have to register first at besocialevents.ca/empower-couple, and empower not EM but empower couple, just the letter M, power couple, because I truly believe in this generation that we don't need to be just power couples, but empower couple, to empower one another with its own and their own dreams and aspirations.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for all your success, and I have a copy of the book that you had given me from the event last week, where we all met you on the Nikki Clarke Show page, and you did a fantastic job. So I would encourage everyone to get a copy. Go to the book launch coming up this Thursday, and also you can order online. And where can people order?
Amazon. Just go to Amazon, the 12 Keys to Finding Love in Less Than 300 Days.
Okay. And if they want to connect with you as a relationship mentor, where would they go?
Oh, perfect. They can definitely go. You can find me online, and they can also go to empowercouple.com and shoot me an email. I'm available. And please write me your thoughts of the book. Write me some questions. And if you want to see me face-to-face or Skype to Skype, that's also an opportunity. Yes.
Fantastic. Well, Tal, it's been a pleasure chatting with you today, and I know that the listeners have been empowered by the dating advice that you've given. So we just want to thank you for your time. If you just tuned in now to the interview and you missed the earlier part, you don't have to worry. We're going to be replaying the interview throughout the week on We Are Hotline, the Nikki Clarke Show, 11 a.m. to noon, Monday to Friday. So, Tal, thank you again. All the best on your book launch coming up, and congratulations on your book. You're doing great things to help singles connect and to find true love. So thank you very much. Have a blessed day, and looking forward to seeing you soon.
You too. Thank you so much, Nikki. It was great, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
All the best. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.